Some people spend their entire lives chasing a dream, only to feel nothing when they finally touch it. Not sadness, not joy, just silence. A strange emptiness, the kind nobody warns you about, because we are taught that achievement changes everything. Get the job, build the body, make the money, find the relationship, reach the goal, and then life begins. But what happens when it doesn't? What happens when you arrive at the destination and still feel lost? Every year, millions of people wake up and repeat the same ritual. Work harder, sleep less. Keep moving, keep chasing. They call it ambition. But sometimes, it is fear wearing a beautiful mask, fear of being left behind, fear of being ordinary, fear of sitting alone with your own thoughts. Because silence is dangerous. The modern world knows this. That is why everything is designed to distract you. Notifications, deadlines, endless scrolling, constant noise. If you are always stimulated, you never have to ask yourself the uncomfortable question, why am I doing all of this? Most people never stop long enough to find the answer. They just keep running. School teaches you to chase achievement. Society rewards visible success. Social media turns life into a scoreboard. Everyone is connected, yet nobody feels close. Everyone is expressing themselves, yet nobody feels understood. Everyone is chasing happiness, yet anxiety has never been louder. Because deep down, many people are not chasing dreams. They are chasing permission. Permission to feel worthy. Permission to feel loved. Permission to finally feel enough. And that changes everything. Because when your goal becomes emotional survival, achievement stops feeling exciting. It starts feeling necessary. That is why people sacrifice themselves for success. Their sleep, their relationships, their health, their peace. They believe the emptiness inside them is temporary. Just one more step, one more promotion, one more accomplishment, then the feeling will disappear. But it never does. Because achievement can change your lifestyle, not your identity, and this is where the illusion begins to crack. A man spends 10 years building wealth, finally becomes successful, finally earns respect, yet every morning still feels heavy. A woman spends years chasing perfection, improves herself endlessly, becomes admired by everyone around her, yet still feels strangely disconnected from herself. Why? Because the human mind adapts to everything, even dreams. What once felt impossible eventually becomes normal. The car becomes transportation. The house becomes familiar. The praise becomes expected. And the feeling you thought would save you slowly fades into the background. Psychologists call it adaptation. But emotionally, it feels like betrayal. You finally get what you wanted, and your soul responds with emptiness. Not because the goal was meaningless, but because you expected it to heal something deeper. Something achievement was never designed to heal. Loneliness, self-hatred, fear, childhood wounds, the need to be seen. No amount of success can quietly erase those things. In fact, success often exposes them. Because when the chase finally ends, there is nothing left to distract you. That is the terrifying part. Not failure, stillness. The moment where you realize you climbed a mountain without asking why you wanted to reach the top in the first place. And many people experience this moment completely alone. They cannot talk about it because from the outside, their life looks perfect. People congratulate them, admire them, envies them. Meanwhile, they feel emotionally absent inside their own life. So they do what society taught them to do. They chase another goal. Bigger, faster, louder, as if movement itself can escape emptiness. But emptiness travels with you, into every city, every relationship, every achievement. Because the problem was never the goal. It was the belief hiding behind it. The belief that your worth must be earned. And once that belief enters your mind, life becomes a performance. You stop asking what feels meaningful. You start asking what looks impressive. You stop listening to yourself. You start managing your image. Slowly, you become a stranger to your own existence. That is why some of the most successful people in the world feel emotionally exhausted. They spent years building a life without building themselves. And eventually the soul notices. Eventually the silence returns. Late at night, in empty apartments, in long car rides, in moments where the world finally becomes quiet enough to hear your thoughts again. And maybe that emptiness is not punishment. Maybe it is a message. A painful one, but an honest one. Maybe your mind is trying to tell you that achievement alone cannot create meaning. Because meaning is not something you arrive at. It is something you experience. In connection, in presence, in honesty, in moments where you are no longer trying to prove your existence to the world. The strange truth is, some people only begin to truly live after their dreams disappoint them, because disappointment destroys illusion. And illusion is dangerous. It convinces people that life exists somewhere in the future, after the promotion, after the glow-up, after the breakthrough. But life was happening the entire time. In ordinary mornings, in conversations you barely noticed. In small moments you rushed through because your mind was obsessed with becoming someone else. The future became a prison, and achievement became the key you kept trying to use. On the wrong door, maybe that is why so many people feel empty today. Not because they failed, but because they succeeded at goals that were disconnected from who they truly were. They inherited dreams from society, from parents, from comparison, from fear, and called it purpose. But real purpose feels different. It does not constantly demand proof. It does not require an audience. It does not disappear after achievement. It brings peace instead of addiction. Because real fulfillment is quieter than people expect. It is not constant excitement. It is not endless motivation. Sometimes it is simply feeling present in your own life again. Feeling connected to yourself. Feeling honest with yourself. Feeling like you no longer need to outrun your own emptiness. And maybe that is the real turning point. The moment you stop asking, what can I achieve to finally feel enough? And start asking, why did I believe I was not enough to begin with? That question changes people. Because for the first time, the problem is no longer outside of them, and neither is the answer. Maybe fulfillment was never hiding at the finish line. Maybe it was buried underneath the endless pressure to become someone worthy of love. And maybe the emptiness people feel after success is not proof that life is meaningless. Maybe it is proof that the soul wants something deeper than achievement can offer. Something slower. Something real. Something human. Because in the end, nobody remembers their life as a list of completed goals. They remember feelings, moments, people, connection. The quiet moments where they felt fully alive. And perhaps that is the hardest truth of all. You can achieve everything you ever wanted and still lose yourself in the process. Or you can stop running long enough to finally meet the person you were trying to save all along.